Welcome to Codex, History of Video Games. My name is Tyler Osby.
And I'm Mike Coletta.
And this week, the Xbox 360 turns 20. Does it actually happen this week? Like, what is the date?
It's on the 22nd, November 22nd. It turns 20 years old. And I figured it's better for us to do it before than after.
Yeah, we're going to talk a bit about the Xbox 360 today.
Yeah, and we want to give a shout out. Casino Tarantino is the one that brought this to my attention. A listener. And I was like, oh, dang.
Tarantino.
We gotta talk about this because it's pretty big news for me. It also makes me feel 8,000 years old as well.
Yes,
which
me
is good.
too. Because I remember when this was brand new and was the future of video games.
Okay, let's just start here. This is going to be like a person. We're going to talk about some history and some of like the key points with Xbox 360. We're professionals, obviously. Okay, but we also are going to talk about our own stuff with like our experiences with this. So when did you get your 360?
I want to know. I remember it pretty clearly. I got my 360. It was a couple of years late. It was in 2007 because it came out in November of 2005.
2005.
In the earlier part of the 21st century. I got it. Yeah, so I got it in 2007. The reason that I got it then was I guess that was a while after I got my first job. That was like a year, more than a year after I got my first job. I had actual real money that was coming into my name. But also that's when Rock Band came out. And I was on the Rock Band train from day one because I loved Guitar Hero on the PS2. We had played a whole bunch of that. And so when the news dropped that Harmonix was making a game called Rock Band that had drums, because I am a person who, if I could be considered to play any instrument at all for real, it is the drums. That is not to say I'm any good, but I love the drums.
Don't listen to him.
But I love the drums, and so playing Guitar Hero but drums was like, yeah, dude, I'm on board, and I have a job, so I can save up money and I can buy this Xbox. When did you get your Xbox?
I got mine also a year later in 2008.
Okay.
And I actually bought it kind of specifically for two reasons. One is Call of Duty Modern Warfare. I started playing that at a friend's house and I got really into it. Like I got tired of going to their house to play it, essentially. And then two was so that I could play Fallout 3.
Oh, okay.
Which is like, we're going to probably talk for a second about like our peak games. We've already kind of mentioned it with like Rock Band and Fallout 3. But Fallout 3 is like, to me, was the reason I got a 360 because I was so excited and intrigued by that game. And it was so good. It's so good. I wish I could play that all over again.
Yeah, I wish you could just play a game for the first time again. That's how I feel about the Metal Gear Solid series. I'm like, I wish I could just play it again for the first time.
Nano machines.
Nano machines. But yeah, I want to talk a bit about like why, I guess for our younger listeners, like why the Xbox 360 was such a big deal when it came out. With like, what did it do in terms of like pushing the industry forward? And I would argue that I think the jump from the Xbox to the Xbox 360 is larger than the jump from, say, like the Nintendo 64 to the GameCube, like the generation before, because I think that first generation of like 3D game consoles, the original PlayStation, the N64, I don't know if I'd lump Dreamcast in there because that was a little bit later, but that first generation of those consoles was great. The second one with the PS2, GameCube, and Xbox was kind of just more of the same. Better graphics, larger games, like technically more impressive, but still kind of the same stuff. I think what the Xbox 360 did when it came out was the first console that was built to go online. It wasn't the first console to go online, obviously. We could talk about the Dreamcast. We could talk about the original Xbox, which Xbox Live didn't even come out for the original Xbox until a year later. Like, this is a fact that sometimes blows people's mind, is that the original Halo, the very first one, did not have any sort of online play.
No, did
on
not.
Xbox.
Yeah, Halo 2 is an Xbox Live. Yeah.
Yeah, there were hacky things you could do to like with a computer to like system link go online. Like there was like some stuff like that, but it did not have Xbox Live capability.
Man, the PC version of Halo Combat Evolved had one of my favorite maps on it. I think it was called Timber.
Yeah, I think that was the one that was like the PC exclusive one.
The PC exclusive map, yeah.
Yeah, that one did go online from the start, the PC version of Halo, but not the Xbox version. But so
I had the box. I wish I still had it. I had the box set like the PC box of Halo Combat Evolved.
That's cool.
I don't know if I still have it or not. I don't think I do. It's a bummer because it's one of those things where it's like it doesn't have any monetary value, but I feel like it's got like nostalgia value to me.
Yeah,
So,
it's just cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
But the 360 was like from the start was this is a console that goes online and we are expecting you to take it online. It didn't require it, obviously, but like they were expecting that you were going to at least plug this into the internet. Even if you weren't going to pay for Xbox Live, there were still that's why they brought out the like Xbox Live Silver subscription, as it was called, which was like just the free version that you couldn't play games online, but you could connect to the store and download games and that kind of stuff. But yeah.
The map was called Timberland, by the way.
Oh, Timberland.
Yep, that was the name of the map. That was PC exclusive. Sorry.
All right.
I had to look it up because it was going to bother me. And I know someone was yelling it at us.
Yeah, in the car,
We were
like
talking
road. Somebody thinks they're road raging, but really they're yelling Timberland.
Timberland! Timberland! That's what they were doing. Yeah.
Funny enough, Timbaland, really big at this time, making Justin Timberlake really great songs.
Wasn't that one of the Timberland songs? Because he did he did a mix with somebody with some. I have never sounded more out of touch with music than this moment.
I don't know. I'm not a Timbaland expert.
Holding on your own, got me 10 feet off the ground. And then it's like, hey, hey, hey. And that was like the remix thing he added to his thing. I have never looked more like an idiot than this moment on this podcast. And I'm not editing it out. I'm leaving it in. I want the world to know.
I'm the one who brought up Timbaland and then was unable to back you up on anything, so I apologize.
Timberland remix songs. I don't even know. Oh, it's Apologize.
Oh, with One Republic.
One Republic.
It's too
late
to apologize.
That was
a
it.
really
That's
big
what I was
song.
trying to reference.
This period of time, that was a really big song.
Yeah, see, I am in touch with culture. Look at me.
You
Look
did
at
it.
me. A real cultural. I got the finger on the pulse.
That's
of
right.
2005 pop music. Well, yeah. So the point is that Timberland isn't a musical artist and also a map on Halo, and they're probably not coincidental.
That you're probably right. You are probably right. The other thing to note about the 360 is they did the Sony thing because like one of the reasons or what people will cite as being one of the reasons why the PS2 just like totally blew the GameCube and the Xbox out of the water that generation was it had a year head start to be in people's homes. There's a lot of other reasons too, DVD player, et cetera, et cetera. So Microsoft did kind of the same thing with the 360 and they came out a year before the PS3 and the Wii did. So the 360 had that whole next generation thing locked down for an entire year, and it like became the default console. And I would say that even when the PS3 came out, it was still behind in terms of like it didn't have trophies when it came out, and the 360 invented achievements or the like official.
That's another thing that
large
did.
achievement thing. Yeah,
I didn't even have that written down, but that's definitely a thing from 360 is achievements.
Yep. And the PS3 came out a year later and didn't have trophies until 2 years after that.
That's wild.
So, yeah, the 360 like was really, I'll say it. I think the 360 was the peak Microsoft Xbox era. Like the first Xbox showed they could do it. The 360 showed that they got it and they could stick around. And then they really goofed on the Xbox One because they
slow decline since then. I would say there was a decline in Xbox One and a little up with Xbox Series X, and now it's kind of just like.
Yeah.
I mean?
Well, now I think now you have to define Xbox as the brand and not just the console that you put under your TV. Because like if you want to compare console numbers, sure, the Xbox Series X hasn't sold nearly as much as like a PS5 or the Switch. But is Microsoft making money off of selling video games under the Xbox brand? Yeah, they are. So I think at this point,
Game Pass subscriptions,
right? Yeah. And so I think the comparison is like if you're just comparing consoles sold, you're looking at the wrong number at this point.
This is also not off topic, but a little like tangential to Xbox. It's still about Xbox, but man, are they trying to get me to play Call of Duty Black Ops 7 on the Xbox PC app? There's like pop-ups that are showing up. Have you seen this yet?
No.
It's like you open up the Xbox app on PC and there's like it's like a pop-up to buy the Call of Duty Black Ops 7. You close the pop-up, and then the front page is just different Call of Duty things all over it. And it's like, we get it, Microsoft. But you're not going to get me to stop playing Battlefield 6, Microsoft. Get out of here.
Nope.
Oh, man. Yeah, Call of Duty to me, it's just kind of past. It's past me, I think, in the way. Like, it's not the same. Also, I mean, the big thrill about it, like a lot of games, is the people you play with, right? And so over time, like the people that I played with when I played Call of Duty Black Ops 2, Modern Warfare 2, that's kind of we've all kind of moved on from that since then. So, which is a bummer, but that's just life.
Yep.
So,
I think also speaking of like playing with friends and stuff, the 360 continued what the original Xbox had been doing, which was creating one single online service that sort of encompassed everything. Like when you made your Xbox Live gamer tag, this was on the original Xbox. When you made that, that's what you were in every game on Xbox Live. And when you went to the 360, that's what you were there as well. It was like this was the identity that you took with you. And on the PS2, it seemed like every game was like you sort of had to sign up for a separate account for each game, or maybe if they like EA, I think, kind of had all their stuff sort of under one banner of a login and that kind of thing. But it was definitely a lot more fragmented in the PS2 stuff, and Microsoft was like, no, you have one identity, it's your gamer tag, and you're taking that with you through every single game. And I recall this is like pre 360 again, but EA was upset about that. And they, for a few years, did not put their sports games on Xbox Live, which was like kind of a big deal. Like Madden 2004, I want to say 2000, I think it was 4 was the first one that was on this. It was like 2 years after Xbox Live came out that they actually were like, fine, we'll use Microsoft.
You know,
those games went online on PS2, but they wouldn't on Xbox.
Yeah, you know what's interesting now is that we've kind of gone back to games having their own accounts or publishers, but it's because of crossplay.
Yeah.
Like that's how they make crossplay work.
Yeah.
So it was like we had separate names online. Xbox gamer tags come out. Also Steam does the same thing now, right? With their Steam ID. Like you can change your name whenever you want, but like that's like
But you're
yours,
still
right?
the same identity.
Yeah, you're the ID. But then now it's like for play to play Battlefield 6 with my friends and are playing on console and I'm on PC, like we have to make an EA account and then we have to make a name for the EA account, and that's like a whole thing. Which it's just kind of funny how it cycles back and forth to just make certain things work. That's the workaround. It's the only workaround they could probably get.
Yeah, so if things were fragmented just because nobody had built anything to unify them, then the console manufacturers and like those brands unified within their own thing. And now that crossplay is a thing, like you said, it's like it's fragmented again, and we need something to bring that together.
And they because there's no other way to do it, because it's not like Xbox and PlayStation are going to be like, hey, you know what? We're not fighting anymore. Let's combine our online services.
Yeah,
They're never going to do that.
The closest thing to that right now, and I think this is probably something, if I were Discord right now, I would be trying to be that one identity that's like link your Xbox account, link your PlayStation account, your EA account, your all of these different accounts. Especially because on PC, like it's a free for all anyway. Even if Steam is sort of the de facto monopoly, like it's still technically a free for all, right?
Have we talked about Discord? Have we really like done an episode talking about Discord? Because Discord is interesting.
Yeah,
and I'm gonna say it's interesting and old because of that podcast that you brought me, made me a fan of. The one about the business of games.
Oh,
Gamecraft.
Yeah,
Gamecraft. Like they talked about Discord on one of their episodes, and I had no idea. It was like it kind of stumbled its way into being this thing that everyone uses now.
Yeah,
it seems like.
Yeah,
and it's really big, and it's video game centric. I mean, that's how it started. So it's like one of those things where we might want to talk about that someday.
Yeah,
it's interesting history.
I think if I were them, I would be trying to become that like sort of de facto, like, what's your Discord? If I know who you are on Discord, I can find you on anything else, and like that's gonna be fine.
Yeah, for sure.
That's what I would be trying to be if I were them at this point, and maybe they are, and you know that's probably a hard problem to solve, but I think people want that at this point. Like I hate having a million different accounts for everything. It's so just keeping track of it all.
It's so frustrating.
Yeah.
And this is not an ad, but I'm just gonna say getting a password manager is the key. Okay.
Yeah.
Also, look at me. I'm looking in the camera for this. Get your parents and your grandparents to get a password manager. It's going to save you a lot of frustration and a lot of time. I've been trying to get my mom on 1Password for 2 years now.
Yeah.
I'm about to just make the account for her. I'm about to make a family plan and just throw my mom on that. You know what I mean? Be
Yeah,
like, this is yours.
And then because they write the password down. If they're using different passwords, which is good, then that just means now they've written it down in a notebook somewhere that they shouldn't be doing as well.
I wish I could filter my text messages with my mother to see how many times she asked me for my HBO password. It's so much. I'm like, we got to get you a password manager, Jackie.
Yep.
Okay. Probably shouldn't say my mom's name on the podcast, but hey, it's only her first name. There's a lot of Jackies out there.
That's
It's
true.
fine.
Yep.
She'd love it. She got a shout out. Shout out to Jackie. Okay.
Shout out to Jackie. We love Jackie.
The other thing, too, that I want before I forget, Xbox Live Arcade.
Yeah.
Because now that started on the Xbox. There's no denying that. It started on the Xbox. But, yeah, look at that.
My part of
Look
my
at that.
Project Gotham 2.
I love this, dude. I love that you have that little piece of in memoriam to the Xbox, the original
Yeah.
Xbox. But the Xbox Live Arcade was really like committed to on 360, and I feel like that was really cool. And it was also the fact that they kind of opened up the world of indie games to console players, which is
Yeah.
something that we've briefly talked about on the podcast before. But it really, this is the moment where you're like, oh, I'm gonna start playing indie games instead of AAA. That kind of can be traced back console wise to the Xbox Live Arcade.
Yeah,
So-
absolutely. Yeah, because on the original Xbox, it was a disc that you put in. There was like 5 games, and like that was kind of the idea, was that these were online games, so they were like small little games that you could play on your Xbox. But on the 360, with as long as you had the hard drive, which strangely was optional on the 360, at least at the start, which was kind of weird because the original Xbox had a hard drive in every console. But you could download games to the hard drive, and then you didn't need a disc to play them. And that
Yeah.
was like, so there's like a big sort of publishing revolution there. Obviously Steam had been doing this for a couple of years on PC, and like there were always like downloadable games on PC, but this was, like you said, the first time that you could do this on a console. And because that barrier for publishing was lowered, you got a lot of really cool indie games that came out that like they didn't need to make discs of. They didn't care if it only sold 100 copies because the margins on it were fine.
Dude, I'm looking here. We got Miss Pac-Man, Bejeweled. This is on the original Xbox, by the way. We got Gauntlet. The first Gauntlet is on there, which is really cool. My games that I would play are it's Evolution. It's the
Geometry Wars.
Geometry Wars was a big one.
Yeah.
But what's the one that's you're on a dirt bike and it's really
Trials.
Trials. Yes, I played so much Trials. Like I was really into Trials, and anytime a new Trials game came out, this is a time in my life where I was living with my buddy. Hi, Toby. Oh, Toby's
Oh, there he
in
is.
the
Oh,
background.
he's got to not be up there.
Toby, are you about to undo? This is perfect. We're leaving this in so everyone. I don't know. Has everyone seen Toby yet?
This is my cat, Tobias.
Tobias.
Hey, buddy. You're famous now, maybe.
Tobias, look at you.
He's climbing up on things he shouldn't be climbing up.
Well, Toby's also a really cool cat because he's known for turning off Tyler's computer while he's gaming, which
That's
is
right.
really awesome.
I am going to take a second to kick him out of here, though.
Yeah,
because-
that's okay. Yeah. Bye, Toby. We love you. Okay, but yeah, Trials games. I was at the point in my life where it was in a house in Renton, Washington, and it was with my best friend Brian, and we've set up 2 TVs in our living room, each with our Xboxes on them and Xbox Live plugged in. And we would just play Trials next to each other and try to beat each other and like beat the levels first and like help each other out. And that's like peak gaming moments to me, is that, you know what I mean? Like Trials side by side with someone while you're playing it after we both got off with our work with our job. I think I would I would leave my dress shirt on from the law firm I worked at, but put basketball shorts on, and I wouldn't change it, and I'd just play Trials for some reason. I called it my video game uniform. That's what I would do. But yeah, it's Trials. Those kind of games are just really fun to play in a room with somebody.
Yeah.
Like that's just really neat. And I mean, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 on Xbox 360, that was us at a house in college, and we would just pass the controller around, and that's all we would do. But we just all hang out, and it was super fun. So like that's why I wanted to talk about this today. It's definitely my nostalgia console. Probably is the 360.
Yeah, it is the console that I had when I was sort of like coming of age, I suppose.
Coming of age, that's a good way to put
late
it.
high school into college. Yeah, because this was the
Rock
first
Band.
console. What?
Rock Band.
I'm
Rock
still
Band
sad that it
college
doesn't exist
parties.
anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
College parties and Rock Band was awesome, by the way.
Yeah. That was a period of time, like 2008 to like 2011, 12. Like that was prime time for playing games with plastic instruments, and it was just fun, right? We just had a lot of fun.
And everyone
doing
did it.
Yeah.
Everyone played. Like it was like you'd go to a college party and they're like, they got Rock Band. It's like, yeah, and like every single person is just singing along, have a good time playing Rock Band. Oh,
Yeah.
Beatles Rock Band, I think we played Beatles Rock Band together in
Oh
college.
yeah, I did so, yeah.
Because we were like, our buddy, they're just obsessed with it. It was so good, and it was such a fun. Oh, I just love it. This is too nostalgic of an episode for me. Honestly, I'm overwhelmed.
for me, this is again like because this was right around the time that I had my first job later on in high school, and like so I had money that I could, if a game came out, I could just go get it.
Was this Wendy's?
Yes, this was when I worked at Wendy's.
With Matt in Japan?
With Matt in Japan. When Matt in Japan and I worked at Wendy's because we had to save up to buy PS3s and Wiis. That's like literally why we got this job, was so we could buy games.
I love that. You got employed by Dave Thomas
Yep.
just so you could buy video game consoles, and that is a beautiful thing.
Yep.
Okay.
So yeah, we were able to buy the games that we wanted to get when they came out. We didn't have to wait for them to go on sale or wait for like birthday or Christmas or anything. So that's why it has a special place in my heart. It was just that was the console that I was playing at that period of time in my life.
Can I ask you a fast food history question?
Absolutely.
When you worked at Wendy's, did they still have Biggie size? Remember when fast food places did that?
They had stopped calling it Biggie sized by the time I started there, but lots of people would come through the drive-thru and still ask for Biggie size.
Because there was like super size at McDonald's and like king size at Burger King, and then Biggie size was the Wendy's equivalent of that.
Yeah, it had been recently phased out, I think.
Dude, I'm a huge fan of both video game and fast food history.
So. So I worked there when the original Baconator came out. I was firmly employed at Wendy's when the Baconator came out.
What a time to be alive.
Yeah,
honestly.
truly.
Oh man, the bacon. My favorite is that they came out with a smaller Baconator, but they just called it Son of Baconator. like Game of Thrones.
Yeah, it's like the junior Baconator.
I am Mike of House Baconator. Oh man, there's so much lore wrapped into this podcast now about our early lives because of this. I've also think that I've now said that Game Boy Color, Xbox 360, and N64 are all my nostalgia consoles. I'm pretty sure I'm just changing it every single episode, but whatever. But
hey, well, as you get
coming of age console is a good way to put the Xbox 360, at least for us, because that's kind of our age range, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, so
that's the one. The Game Boy was the car ride console that kept me occupied. The N64 is a console that made me a gamer, but the 360 is the console that I had when I was coming of age.
Mm-hmm. Also social, like a social console.
Yeah, very social console.
Oh, that came with a headset. We didn't even think about that. Like I still have my Pro, my Xbox 360 Pro. It's back there. It still works. I never got red ringed, by the way. We should talk about that.
Oh boy.
I mean, that's a big. I mean, red ring.
I think we've done an entire episode on the red ring.
We did. I mean, but this is like that whole idea of a console being an item that the whole point of the console was this is a gaming machine. It's gonna work. You don't have to think. You just turn it on and it plays your game. And the Xbox Red Ring is the first time we all learned that's not necessarily true.
Yeah.
Because it was like the red ring, and then PlayStation had the yellow light of death.
Yeah.
You know, like it all started this way.
They had similar root causes too, or at least that's sort of what popular lore will have you believe. I mean, I'm sure there's somebody out there who can say, well, actually it was not that, but it was like, there was like these European regulations that just happened that made solder have to have, not have lead in it anymore, or something like that. Some sort of environmental thing that made the solder a little bit of lower quality in order to hit those like environmental things that the European Union wanted. And they hadn't quite perfected it yet, the formula or whatever. And both the 360 and the PS3 had problems with their solder underneath their graphics card, underneath their graphics chips.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We talked about that on the Red Ring episode, too, didn't we?
Mm-hmm.
We did. Gosh, we're just back here doing a little recursion a little bit. I like it, though. Honestly, this console to me, though, it was just like the peak of like social gaming. And it was before it was before COVID. So we didn't necessarily have that like always online presence that we have now. Before social media, I mean, we're talking 2008. There was still like Facebook and MySpace, but this was before smartphones really took
Oh yeah,
off too.
yeah,
So
absolutely.
like this is a piece of technology that you would play in your home with friends, or if you got online, you would have to like text them and plan it out. But you'd be texting them from your dumb phone, from your smartphone, but it was dumb. Like it was just like
Yeah.
I think I got my first iPhone in 2007,
Because you had the original iPhone, right?
I had the original.
Which
I still
was
do. I still
which
have
is
it.
yeah, not a very. I mean, it did.
It was a hand-me-down.
Yeah. Oh, okay. It sold
My
very well,
brother-
but it was like the first
Yeah.
sort of not the first smartphone. I know, like you can say like, oh well, Palm actually, like sure, but it was the first smartphone to be palatable to like normal people. Like up until then, smartphones were like, this is a business person's phone. It has a hardware keyboard and a stylus, and the iPhone was like no hardware.
This is
keyboard.
for emails.
Yes, that's that.
This
famous
is where you
Steve-
look at Outlook.
That's famous Steve Ballmer quote where they're like, "What do you think of the iPhone?" And he's like, "Well, it doesn't have a keyboard, which means it's not good for business users." And you're like, "Okay, well, you were wrong about that
Joke's
one."
on him. Now everyone does everything on their phone.
Yeah,
so.
he was like, "This is stupid." Of course, I don't know what they expected to get out of Steve Ballmer. If they're like, "What do you think of this new thing that your competitor just made?" Is like he's gonna be like, "Oh my gosh, it's so great."
Oh yeah, dude. This is kind of. Well, we'll talk about this in a bit. In fact, we should probably. Do you have anything else on the 360 you want to mention?
I mean, we should probably talk about some of our
The games.
Like, yeah,
Oh,
just like
yeah.
our favorite games, and I think it's worth talking about where the console started and where it ended because
Oh, that's really
they're
good. That's a
very
really good point.
different. Like this was probably the largest shift in like just the way people play games within a single console generation. Because like the start of the N64 generation to the end of it, like you still went to GameStop, you still bought your games from Toys R Us or whatever, you still got the cartridge, you popped it in. And it all worked the same from start to finish, 1996 to 2001 or whatever. It was all the same. But the 360 started at the end of that sort of the next era where you were buying your games physically. But by the end of that generation, digital downloads were a big thing. Even if people weren't primarily using it for that, like you could pretty much get any game digitally downloaded. The dashboard changed like 3 different times.
Oh yeah, the dashboard changes were crazy. Also the blades, which I
Yeah.
believe is our background.
It is,
We
yeah.
love the blades.
The original Blades that everybody still loves. Then they had the new Xbox experience, and that was a big moment. I remember in 2008 when they changed from the Blades to the new Xbox experience because that was the first time like you downloaded an update to your console and it was different now. Like the console changed. It felt like it was almost a brand like a new thing. And they added
Yeah.
in, I think part of that update, they added in being able to install games from the disc to the hard drive. You still had to have the disc in the drive to play them, but they would load faster if you put them on the hard drive. That's something that, like, they added features to the Xbox 360 over time. They're like, by the end of that generation, even if you bought a launch Xbox 360, it was way better by the end of that generation, assuming you made it through without being red ringed.
You know, that's a good point you made there too about the if you made it through. Also, the console physically also had a lot of changes. Like you
Yeah.
had the 20 gig hard drive to start. Then it was the Pro was 60 gig hard drive. Then you had it's the slim model of Xbox 360.
Yep.
Right. That was like the black one. That kind of changed the shape too.
Yeah.
Because it didn't have the hard drive on top anymore.
Yeah,
Right?
it came in a sort of its own little enclosure that you had to like that it was still removable, but it was different from the one that came with the
Yeah.
original Fat 360. I think that slim model is like the sort of most sought after at this point because it's beyond you're past the point where your red ring is a problem. But they are very moddable, hardware moddable. All of them are, and they're not very difficult to do. There was that last revision that came out after the Xbox One came out, or maybe slightly before it, where it kind of made it look like an Xbox One, but it was still 360. Those ones, some of them are moddable, but not all of them. The later
Yeah.
ones are not. Hardware
Yeah.
moddable, I should say, if we can talk about the soft mod that just came out, or that is still being sort of worked on as we speak. There's kind of a soft mod thing going on. That does work on every console, which is very cool. But
That is really cool. I love when people find stuff like that. All right, let's do some game shout outs. So
Okay.
there's actually one I didn't think of until just now because we got Grand Theft Auto 4
yep,
on 360.
yep,
Big deal.
yep.
We got, I mean, Gears of War
Gears of War
started on
was kind of an
360.
exclusive for a while. I guess it did come out on PC not too long. It was like probably a year or two after it came out on 360. But that was a game when you saw it, you were like, this is next generation. This looks
Yep.
like different. This looks like the
Also,
future.
Just some of the best game trailers come from Gears of War as well.
That's true.
So good. Also, Halo 3, which was a big time. I mean, there was kind of this period where it was like Halo 3 or Call of Duty. Like, what are we going to play online? And I think Call of Duty kind of came out on top of that, mostly because of how much they put them out.
Yeah.
Like, Halo 3 kind of fell to the wayside because there was like 3 or 4 Call of Duties that came out between Halo 3 and Halo 4.
Yeah. Halo 3 maybe had the edge on the original Modern Warfare. But then, by the time Modern Warfare 2, Black Ops came out, Halo 3 was kind of old news, and they were putting out a new Call of Duty every year. So,
yeah, it was pretty nuts. But those games really stick out to me. Also, Oblivion, Elder Scrolls Oblivion was a big deal. I mean, I talked about this before, but I had that demo disc, like that was like it was like a DVD that would play, and they would talk about the 360 and like the graphic settings and how Oblivion's trees looked so realistic, that was like a big part of it.
That game, it's funny that you say that it's like a iconic like 360 game for you, because that is the game that I think turned me into a PC primarily gamer, because I have bought it when it came out in like 2006 on PC, and I played a lot of it on PC. I was like, this is great, having a lot of fun with Oblivion. When I got my 360, because I had come into the 360 a couple of years later, Oblivion was already like platinum hits or whatever. It was inexpensive for the 360, and I was like, you know what? It's got to be better on the console, right? It's not.
It's not.
It runs at like 20 frames per second, and I was playing on PC at better than that, but I wasn't running it like a full 60. But I was like, oh, okay, I get this now. Like I am a PC guy now, and I will play console games when that's the only place I can play them.
I actually first played Oblivion on PC as well, but then I got it again, the Game of the Year edition on 360, and that's really what like kicked off for me. And I also 100% achievements that game.
Ooh,
so
that is the achievement stuff that like I know some people don't really love that, but I think it's so fun, and I still will. Like if I have a game on Steam or if it's on Game Pass, I still will sometimes favor the Game Pass version, because I know I'm going to get Xbox achievements, which I don't know why, but they mean more to me than Steam achievements do.
Yeah, the Steam achievements. I have 100% Steam achievements, some stuff, and I'm like, that's cool, but it doesn't feel the same.
Yeah, and maybe it's the gamer score that like the number going up is what feels good.
And then also seeing your friends score compared to you.
Yeah,
that also did it. That really shows off
that period of time where you would rent games that had easy achievements and then just like get easy achievements. Avatar game. Yeah. Avatar game where you could get all 1,000 gamer score in about 45 seconds. Like I don't think that's really an exaggeration either. It's like within a few minutes if it's
that's
anything
wild.
significant at all, because developers didn't know at the time like what is an achievement. And they were like, I don't know, we put 6 in there and they're for higher and higher levels of combos, and it just so happens in that first area, if you do it right and get the dudes in the right corner or whatever, you can combo them forever, infinitely, until you get all the achievements, and that's it.
Yeah, there was just so many things about that, like the silly achievement games I loved too.
Yeah,
I'm trying to think of other games for the 360 here that were really, I mean, we kind of covered the big ones. I think Rock Band, Halo, Gears of War, because was that the first Grand Theft Auto game to be on an Xbox console? Was 4?
No, 3 and Vice City and San Andreas were all on the original Xbox. They came out a little bit later than they did for PS2, but they were all on it.
I should have known that because I had Vice City on Xbox at one point.
Yeah, I think San Andreas might have been the same day on the original Xbox as the PS2 version, but it was a big deal.
Talked about Trials. That's important for me.
Yep.
Trials was a big one.
As far as like indie games go, because we were talking about that like indie game explosion, you had games like Braid.
Oh yeah.
Which took, I mean, I think now it's probably had a physical release, but at the time it had not had a physical release.
Was Limbo Xbox 360?
Maybe that would have been towards the end, I think, of that era. But I think
because Inside was after Limbo.
Inside was later, but Limbo, I think Limbo was 360. The games that I really loved, the indie games that I loved, were the Penny Arcade on the Rain Slick Precipice of Darkness games. The first 2 were on Xbox 360, Xbox Live Arcade. I played them both, loved them. I also loved the third one, but I played that on PC, and that's a kind of a different game. But and then the fourth one is more similar to the third game. Those are also good. I think those are underrated games that people don't talk about enough.
Ooh.
But I feel like there's some other. I remember when Sonic the Hedgehog came out for the Xbox 360, and they eventually put all of the Sonic the Hedgehog games on there, or like the Genesis ones, because this was before there were like the Wii Virtual Console and stuff. So these were like full on Xbox 360 ports that had achievements and everything like that. That was very cool.
How could I forget? Minecraft.
Oh yeah,
Minecraft 360.
Yeah,
that was huge.
It
was the console. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
the first time that it came out on a console. Was 360.
Yeah,
Because I'm pretty sure we got the Xbox version before we got the PlayStation version.
probably.
Because I think this is when they bought Mojang.
Yeah.
Was like later in the 360's life cycle.
Yeah,
But I played so much Minecraft on Xbox 360. Like it was a lot.
yeah.
It's also a lot of late nights building and mining. You know.
Mm-hmm. The children yearn for the mines.
The children yearn for the mines. Well, do you want to do this quick question that we got? But it's not going to be quick because it's going to be intense.
Oh yeah, we should. I'm gonna be able to talk about it for a little while. I think maybe.
Yeah, so we got a question that we were usually going to hold off until the mailbag episodes for, but this was such a big moment this week that we kind of felt like we wanted to talk about it now. So this is from Sketcher9 on Discord. I'm curious what you guys think. I know the normal focus is on gaming history, but it's always good fun to talk about current game things, a bit of a looking into the past to try and predict the future. With the announcement of the new Steam machine, assume the performance is very similar to a PS5. At what price point would it need to be to recommend to a friend or family member looking to get more into gaming? Would it matter much if the price is much better or worse than a PS5 digital? You can assume they're asking about console or PC gaming for this question, i.e. not handheld, because that math is simple. Do you primarily want Nintendo games? Yes. Switch. No. Steam Deck.
Yeah.
How much would it depend on the person? So that's a really good question. I think, so they've already said, and I could be wrong here with the Steam machine, that they are targeting the PC market. So the rumor mill is that it's going to be somewhere between $800 to $1,000. That's like the competitive price that I've heard. Is that what you've heard?
Well, I haven't heard any specific rumors. My guess is literally just a guess. I think it's going to be closer to the $1,000 price point. And the reason that I think that is because, they'll sell a lot of games on Steam, but it's not locked to Steam. And so, like, because usually consoles are sold kind of at a loss, knowing that they'll make up the other side on games. Steam or Valve can't count on that as much, although I think they can probably count on it a lot. They sort of discount the Steam Deck in that way, but not by a lot, I don't think. And I think the Steam machine will likely go in that direction. I think if the Steam machine were being sold by somebody who didn't also sell games, it'd be $1,000 easy. If Valve chooses to subsidize it, depending on how generous they want to be in that subsidization, maybe we'll see it closer to 500. But everything is going up in price right now, including game consoles. So I think maybe we'll see more around that $700 to $800 mark. And I think, so you said they're targeting the PC market with this.
That's what they've said, is they're trying to be more like, we want to price it competitively to PCs with the same specs, which is more like the $800 to $1,000 range. Now, to Sketcher's question of would I recommend it to people getting into gaming, I would say, well, it depends on what do you care about. Because do you care about graphics and frame rates? Because then, yeah, if you got the money, you should probably go for the Steam machine because it's going to supposedly be 4K 60 frames per second. That's what they're going for with like every game. But I don't know if that's how it's going to work.
I hate that they say that because that's not possible. Like 5090 can't play every game at 4K 60.
This.
So when they say 4K 60, I'm like, okay, so the HDMI port can put out 4K 60 hertz. Fine. But like you're not going to be playing Cyberpunk at legit 4K 60 on that thing. You just aren't.
No, yeah, with ray tracing and all that jazz.
Yeah, exactly.
There's no way.
Exactly. And maybe they say, well, with FSR, like, okay, maybe with FSR, but then you're kind of not being truthful about the 4K part if you're saying with FSR.
here's my thing. Here's who I would recommend this to. I would actually recommend this to someone that was like, I want to get into PC gaming, but the idea of building a PC is really intimidating to me. I would say, well, guess what? Valve's got you covered. It's going to cost you some money, but you know that this is a Valve product running Steam OS. It's going to run well. It's going to work with Steam. And then you can benefit from all those discounts on PC games that Steam has, right? So I would say it's less about, I don't think this is going to be a console war situation. At least it doesn't seem like that to me right now. It doesn't, like, a lot of people were like, well, Xbox is out and Valve is in. I'm like, I don't think that's how this is going to work. Valve doesn't seem like they want to get into that market at all. Like, Valve just wants to make more people use Steam.
Yeah, they're trying to put a PC in your living room. Like, if you're a console person and you're not interested in the PC side at all, this is not going to convince you, because it's not going to be, the price is not going to be competitive enough for you to say, okay, I'll buy a Steam machine over a PlayStation 6, right? The price will not be competitive. But if you're a person, like you just said, if you're a person who's like, I want to get into PCs, but it's so daunting because, like, I either buy a pre-built and then I'm on my own, or I build my own and then I'm super on my own, this is a way to get a PC and not be on your own. And because people always ask, like, how am I going to know if games can run on the hardware that I bought? And you can just say, does it run on the Steam machine? And that you can get a very clear yes or no answer to that. Like, same way with the Steam Deck right now, right? It's like, how well does this game run on the Steam Deck? There's no like, well, which Steam Deck did you get? Did you have one with the GPU with this one? It's like, no, it's like, you either know what it's going to do. That's it. You know what it's going to do. And maybe it runs well, maybe it doesn't, but you know, like I said, this is a known thing. And I think the Steam machine is going to be the same way.
Yeah, and Valve also said that they're going to do the same thing that they do with the Steam Deck, where they'll have that own like checkmark system.
Yep.
Where it's like a yellow or a green if it's like good or not for Steam machine. So I love it. And you get to use a Steam controller, which is what I'm actually more excited about. That's what I'm really excited about, is a Steam controller. I'm going to get it.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I know for sure I'm going to buy is the Steam controller.
I'll pay $100 for the Steam controller.
Me too.
Yeah.
I don't even know if I'm going to dabble. I mean, so I'm tempted to get into VR, but I'm also like, how much do I really play VR? How much would I use it? That's going to
depend on the price, the Steam frame. Yeah.
Because the Index was like over $1,000.
Yeah. The Index was great because it really was like, here for infinite money, this is far and away the best thing, and there's like no question about it, right? And it was
had
really
like the finger touch controls where you would like each finger would move.
And I think the Steam frame is, I think it's maybe also going to be around the same price point as the Vive, but we'll see. What is exciting to me about that is the fact that the Steam frame runs on a Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 processor, which is like a flagship mobile phone processor from a couple of years ago, so it's pretty good. But they have talked about how they have, similar to their Proton translation layer for the Steam Deck and Steam Machine, that because those are PCs that run Linux, but they play Windows games to a pretty good degree. Like, most games run pretty good on Proton. So they've got Proton, but also because the Snapdragon is not a standard like Intel or AMD x86 processor, it's a ARM processor. They also have a translation layer for that, or I guess that's technically emulation. And so what I think that is going to mean is that the Steam frame is going to be cool, and it's going to play PC games, and it's going to be okay. And it'll have games that are made specifically for it. That's awesome. It's going to be a really good VR headset. But I think the Proton and the x86 emulation stuff that they're going to do is going to work out really, really well for Android phones.
That's awesome.
And it's going to be, people are going to be, you can already do this with like GameHub, is playing PC games on your Android device. This is going to work. This is going to make that kind of thing better, especially because Valve always open sources stuff. So their contributions to Proton, that it's like sort of building on the Wine compatibility layer that's open source. All that stuff is like free. And I think they're using the FEX emulation, x86 emulation layer, which is open source as well. So their contributions to that will make that a whole lot better too. And so this is going to be really cool for gaming on mobile phones that aren't iPhones. And it may culminate in Steam for Android. And you can just like load up Steam on your Android, and you can try to play your games. Some of them will work great. Some of them will not work, and they will just get better over time, the same as the Steam Deck. And then, if I'm going way into the future here, now I'm predicting even further. I think the reason they haven't put out a successor to the Steam Deck is because they want to put out a Steam Deck that is based on an ARM processor, probably a Snapdragon Elite or maybe the Snapdragon 8 Gen 5. And that will make the handheld, they can make it much smaller, they can make it much quieter, they can make it run much cooler, get a lot better battery life. And then they will have the ability to like sort of pressure developers into making ARM and Android versions of their games that will just run great. That's like this is me reading the tea leaves. I'm just trying to make predictions here, and a lot of it is wishful thinking, pie in the sky. But I'm excited for it because if they can do for that Android gaming scene what they did for Linux gaming when they put the Steam Deck out and the Steam Machine, the original Steam Machine, like 10 years ago, it's a good time to be a gamer, man.
It's a good time to be a gamer. This is why I love talking about the current event stuff. Is I love watching Tyler get fired up about it. This is great. This is what I love. It's perfect. Yeah. So I would say, just for overall Sketcher's question, I think we're both in agreement. New person to PC games, Steam Machine's great.
If you're if you want PC games, if you're interested in it, it's gonna be great.
Yeah, and also some of the, like, now that we know, like Xbox, Microsoft's fully committing to having their games on PC. Sony's kind of getting there, right? Just a little delayed.
There's some more rumors there too of cross-buy and stuff for Sony.
See, it's a good time. It's a good time to get into PC gaming. That's what we're saying. Yep. It's a good time, and Valve's just making it a little bit more accessible. So, yeah, I would say that's just a really good question. It's a really good question, and it also kind of relates to what we talked about today, because I do feel like, I mean, I'm getting kind of, don't get me wrong, I'm really tired of the console war stuff. I'm so sick of it, especially the PlayStation versus Xbox thing. I could care less. But this whole story this week kind of opened the world to being like, seeing, I think all these companies are doing different things, and they're not necessarily like at war with each other. Mm-hmm. Like Valve is trying to get more people into PC gaming. Xbox is saying we're actually going to be less of a platform and more of like a giant entity with Game Pass and like PCs and all this stuff. Sony's still kicking it with the PlayStation. They're like, we're gonna have PlayStation, we're gonna have exclusives, and then Nintendo is just in their own world doing magical Nintendo things, and that's kind of where we're at.
Yeah, Nintendo competes with nobody because like they have a monopoly on Mario. Sorry.
Yep, exactly. They have Mario, they got Link, they got the whole crew. They're good. They don't need to do anything or change anything, and that's because they're super creative. So, but I just think this is all really exciting and interesting and fun, and I just wanted to bring it up this week. So, and this is how we're gonna do current events. Probably it's just at the end of the episodes we'll just toss it out there.
Yeah, especially when we got stuff to talk about. I could talk about Steam Machine stuff all day long.
Oh yeah, it's so good. I'm so excited for that controller. But maybe we'll talk about the controller. Maybe we'll do a little mini review at the end of an episode when the controllers come out. Maybe we'll talk about them. Yeah, that'll be kind of fun, right?
Yeah. Oh, the other thing to give to the Steam Machine is, so if you're talking about competing directly with the PlayStation 5, but it's not the right price to do that, it's also, remember, this is a real legitimate computer that you can put on your desk and like do computer stuff on. So in a world where you want to own a PlayStation and a computer, this is a pretty good replacement for both of those things. Oh yeah, it's like okay, I want a desktop PC and I also want something for my TV in my living room. Why not both? It can be both of those. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So that's a good idea. And you could even get probably like some sort of wireless keyboard and mouse situation going on, so you could like have it on your TV and just send emails from your living room.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Hey, speaking of emails, if you want to send us an email, you can do it codexhistorypodcast@gmail.com.
Yeah.
That segue. Send us an email from your Steam machine. Tyler and I want that.
Yes.
To be, it has to the end. It has to say "sent from my Steam machine," like sent from my iPhone. You can go to codexpodcast.net. That's got all our links on there, including the Discord link that you can use to join our Discord. We've got some new people in the Discord recently. It's kind of nice. It's kind of fun.
Yeah.
So with that, Tyler, would you like to say goodbye to everybody?
Sure. Goodbye, everybody.